what could cause these behaviors, and trying to get the youth to understand both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Also, parents are not always right, so you're also
Right.
trying to get the parent to understand,
Okay.
or the youth to understand the parent. You know what I mean? Like,
Got you.
Why,
So you're
why
working
Shawty
with
so
both.
angry?
It's not just about the
Exactly.
kid, it's about the
Why is Shawty
parents
so
too.
angry when she get home from work? Well, she had a really stressful day. She works. She drives trucks for a living. Sometimes, you know, the job can be strenuous. It can stress you out. It can make you very exhausted. And because of these reasons might be the reason why your mom behaviors might be this way in the home. So just little thing, trying to get the youth to understand the mom and the mom to understand the youth to maintain stability.
I feel like a lot of people may need that. Like, a lot of people may be suffering from not knowing why their parents were certain ways, or mad at parents for doing certain things, but not knowing that their parents had their own backstory also.
For sure.
So that's kind of deep. I know you probably meet a lot of people like.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And like we had a conversation today about that. Sometimes mental health can hide behind so many different behaviors, right? So you can be a person who have severe anxiety, and it comes out in irritability. It comes out in just shut the fucking door. You know, turn off the light. I don't like hearing nobody talk. Just be quiet. Making you feel somewhat overstimulated, irritable. It can manifest in different ways. It's not always your heart racing. It could be neck pain. It could be back pain. It could be exhaustion. It could be, you know, because you're just so overwhelmed. It could be that. It don't have to always be, oh my God, my heart palpitation, or you picture somebody blown into a bag. It manifests in very different ways. A lot of our parents were probably high functioning. Depressive, depression, struggling with depression or anxiety. We wouldn't know, because we're just going off of their behaviors.
Right.
Understanding that, you know, these people are probably working really hard. They're really tired. They're trying to keep the house on their back. They're trying to do this, trying to do that. So it's the family therapy is really important, because you're helping both people understand where both parties are coming from. And reducing the blame, because we do that a lot.
Yeah, I feel like the more you grow, you start to understand, because I had to pay like 5 bills in 1 week, and I was like, yo, like, I can't imagine having 3 kids right now with all these bills. Like, something is about to, like, and I kind of understood it a little bit, like, dang, like,
that's what my mother was going through.
Like, this is a lot of bills, and it's just me.
Adulting is a lot.
So imagine taking care of other people. Let's jump into friendships. Do you think that, okay, and I think I even asked this question on Gurrltalk before, do we meet friends the same we met them in like elementary school or middle school? Like, I feel like when we was in elementary school, it's like, what made you be somebody's friend in elementary? Was it like they was playing the same game as you? Or was people more welcoming are we more welcoming as children than we are like as adults to like people?
So happy you brought that up. Today I had a conversation with one of my friends I speak to like every day, and we actually mentioned that in our conversation, right? Is that sometimes, especially as adults, I wish a lot of my experiences was more from knowledge as opposed to like lived experience sometimes, right? Because we experience a lot of trauma, right, in our lives. Sometimes as kids, you trauma bond. You meet a friend, y'all have similarities, y'all going through the same struggle. Or it could be elementary school, could be you know, we became friends because we like the same things. Oh, I like your hair. You like my hair too? Now we became cool.
Now we friends.
High school, similar things too. It's like, you know, we kind of play the same sport, or, you know, so we end up becoming, you know, in the same group. When you get to college, I feel like your brain development, we know that your frontal lobe and all that other stuff about how your brain develops and whatever, but really and truly, the way you see life starts to change, right? You start to really hone in on like certain things, who you are. That's when I feel like you really learn who you are. So I feel like even in that point, how you gravitate towards people, like making friends, start to change too. Then 25, you really start. Hold on, I went from 10 friends. I'm down to about maybe 5.
What's going on?
The fuck is going on? Then you hit 30, and you said, shit, I only got 2. Right? Because now it becomes, people start showing up as themselves. Sometimes you could be friends with somebody for 40 years and don't really know who people, we really don't know who people are anyway.
And people also change though. You know what I mean? I feel like people also change, like, and I feel like that's why sometimes when people in relationships from like 20s to 30s or even 30s to 40s, sometimes when you get to that 10-year difference, it's changed, because sometimes we're not who we were 20 years ago or 10 years ago or 5 years ago or 4 years ago. So I think sometimes in life things change us, and
Most
it's like,
of the time.
can we change together, or can you understand this change?
People experience different stuff.
Right.
You could have had your mother your whole life, boom, you lose your mom. The relationship can change because now you're learning how to see this world in a different light from what you had, from what you saw it before. You know, you could have just any major change. You could have had a kid, and then your friends have kids.
Right.
So now that already throws a sledgehammer in it,
right?
Right? Because now my friends are just single out here living their life. So you know, so many different things change friendships. You have some that are long lasting that you had since elementary school. You just say, yo, I'm still my friend. We've been friends since we was this amount of age or whatever. But that even having that, I think that people sometimes even with that confuse, and this is what me and my friend was talking about, and she mentioned this to me, which makes sense. We confuse familiarity with friendship.
Yes.
I fuck with you, Shanice. We've been friends since I was. Shanice, you know me. We've been friends since I was fucking 9.
Right.
Yeah, I'm familiar with you. But bitch, I don't know you.
Right. I
really don't know
you. Because you did some things that I didn't think you would do.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, you did do some things that surprised me, and I felt like, oh, you did that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you'll be like, that's my friend. But is it your friend? Or is it that you guys...
Right.
Y'all just know each other.
And I feel like sometimes it could change. I feel like there are times, like, it felt like friendship, and, like... You know, I think friendship, especially from knowing somebody from a very young age and growing with them, it's like a relationship. It's like, because you really become sisters, or, you know, girls get personal. I done told you a secret, so that bond. So it's just like, we stop talking, don't tell my secrets though. Like, you know.
And they will.
No, they can't. So, yeah, so that's one thing. Like, I feel like, even with people that I don't speak to no more, I won't tell your secrets. I won't tell your business, because I feel like that was our relationship and that was something we had. And I don't think I'm ever that. I think you're angry or mad when you tell people's secrets because you want to hurt them. Me, I don't want to hurt nobody. I just want peace. I just want some peace.
People do that. People do that. I don't know why. I think that happens a lot if the friendship was disrupted. Like, you know, y'all had some type of beef. Or ended bad. I feel like sometimes people feel like, fuck that. I'm
gonna just tell.
Yeah, but that shit is trash, honestly. I'm not doing it. I think it's corny because it's like, it's hard to come back from. You know, and if it's something that somebody that you really fucked with,
that's when it's hard to really. That's when you really can't come back.
Because if a friendship is really like a relationship, that one is tough.
But you know, I realize sometimes. Do you think sometimes we take more stuff from our relationships, like with our partner, than we take from with our friendships? Sometimes, like my friend said to me, Shanice, this was a while ago. She did something, and I just thought it was, how could you do that? And I stopped talking to her for a little while, and she called me, was like, you be in relationships and you take them back, and you still mad at me? And I'm like, but what you did, I wouldn't expect you to do, and I hold you on a higher level. I was gonna talk to her again, but I needed a little break of like.
You hold friendships at a way higher level than you do because you feel like they're supposed to last forever. You kind of create this idea in your mind that relationships come and go, right? Not that that's always the case, but we create that in our minds where, you know, like how you got some dudes that say bros over hoes, whatever, right? You create your mind. Yeah, it's crazy, but you create this concept in your mind that friendships are supposed to last forever.
This is a lifetime.
So when your friend do some shit to you, it's like, wow, like. Yeah. So it's harder to accept. That's one piece. The second piece is sometimes it's just really just a pleasure thing.
Yeah, right.
Whereas you can't really.
You ain't doing what he doing for me.
So I might.
Especially if he paying the bill too.
It's fucked up to say, but it's really the honest truth, right? Where pleasure can play a part, right? You're more willing to accept a piece of shit over repairing.
Pleasure feels good. Something that makes you feel good. Even on a shitty day, it's a shitty person, but he gave you pleasure.
Because love can be a drug sometimes. So
love is a drug. They said that's the strongest drug is love.
Exactly. So it's easier for me to date somebody, go back to somebody who treated me like shit, as opposed to repair friendship. Because you know, sometimes when the pleasure is involved, it changes the dynamic of everything. I feel, and I feel like that's why you see that happens with a lot of women, where they'll take a piece of shit back, or even a man, they'll take a certain woman back, or know a certain woman do certain things, but their man do some weird stuff to them, they never talking to them ever.
But is it even really about pleasure? Because I've spoken to a lot of women, and a lot of women haven't even hit a climax with a man. So is it pleasure or just having a warm body?
Most women.
Most women, not all, I'm sorry. My girl said, I ain't married him for no reason. Nah. Let's take a drink. We have a girl talk, y'all. We have a girl talk. So, I don't even know.
No, you're right. You're right about that. One, a lot of women have not experienced orgasms on some real.
Yeah.
But a lot of women, we talked about this too, where we in our lives feel like we should have certain things. Right?
Okay, right.
So,
okay.
Men become, for a lot of people, something to shine.
I was recording.
Spin it back around.
Okay.
Spin the block.
Okay. Oh, spin the block. That's a whole nother conversation.
I've spun it, and trust me, every time you spin it, you crash. But okay. You crash when you spin it. You know?
Don't spin the block. Don't spin it.
No, you will crash. And 9 times out of 10 it says no U-turn. So just
right.
don't do it.
All right. So we're talking about women, everybody, or every woman. Do you? What's the word? Climax. Do every woman climax with a man? Are we lying? Is it just like the feeling? Like sometimes it feels good, but you're not climaxing. Like
so, what you just said. Some women like to have the warm body in the bed.
Mm-hmm.
Some women like to dangle to say, I have a man, I have a man. Even if it's a piece of man, even if the man ain't a good man, it just feels good to say, I have a man. I think
Does it?
Yeah, a lot of women feel like that. Unfortunately, that's just the world we live in. Because we also live in a time where social media posts so many things where we as women, I can't say for myself, but they'll look at those things and feel like they should have these things because Shanice, you seen what Shanice's man did for her birthday? Just little things like that, right? So I think that's one piece. Two, in terms of the orgasms, I think that I believe from experience,
okay,
right? A lot of women do fake orgasms because pleasure becomes more about pleasing the man as opposed to you pleasing yourself. I think that as you get older, you start to become more real with yourself, and you kind of low key want to tell a person that you was trash. But women are not women don't always do that. Women don't tell a man that they're trash, which is why you got a whole lot of men walking around here thinking that they're really doing something,
right? Because
nobody's really being honest to say you're not
right. Honestly, no, right.
And I say that without going into detail, but a lot of women.
No, I've seen a man pull down his pants before, and
right.
It was
absolutely
like
nothing there.
Yeah.
But they might get on top and they're doing. I'm like, people lie to you. Right, because people do lie. Women do lie to men.
Is it the money? Do you think the more money a man has, the more he will be lied to?
I think that porn make people feel like they should make sounds. Yeah.
That's what you think, porn?
Yeah,
I don't really watch porn like that, but I get it because that's all they do is make sounds in porn.
Yes.
So if that's what you're going off of, you think that you're supposed to make sounds.
Right.
Women, do you think that you're supposed to make sounds in bed even if it doesn't feel good? Let us know. Or do you make sounds in bed just for no reason? And that has to be awkward. Because is it the same generic sound?
I think that is definitely generic, and I think that I can say that I have done it and rolled my eyes. But you can't see me, the light is off.
So I don't talk to men, but when I did, and not to get in my business because I'm drinking now, but I never faked. I remember one time I started talking regular. Because, like, yo, so what we gonna eat? And this is years ago, and he's like, Shanice, like, where? And I'm like, I'm like, all right, go ahead, finish. Like, I can't, I'm out of it. Just do what you need to do. It wasn't rape. Like I said, do what you need to do now.
Not do what you need to do.
Do what you need to do. This is boring. You're huffing in my ear. And then the sweat. I believe in doing that in the AC. The sweating on you thing is. Do y'all like to be sweated on? I feel like you be watching that little drip, like, oh, it's about to come. Okay, let me. All right. Switching it over. This is girl talk. We gotta somebody's gonna agree with me, and I know y'all know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. Like I know what I'm you know. So let's talk about work-life balance. Like I feel like I have an advantage a little because. Right. I feel like I have a little bit of an advantage with my time, right? A lot of people have to work 8 hours or 12 hours, 16 hours. Different jobs make you work different hours. Mm-hmm. And I get a lot of free time that I can do a few things, and I don't have my own family. So
That makes it.
So that makes us totally like in different places, right? So with certain topics, I don't even try to tell women what to do or how to do because I'm not living that life, and I understand that, and I understand that I may do a little bit more. I may do a few more things than you because you got a kid, you got a husband, you got children, and you got things to do. So how is the work-life balance for like a mom, a sister, a girlfriend, a wife?
You don't really have, right? So it's some days if you're on a seesaw, some things are gonna be a lot heavier than others, right?
Okay.
You don't have a balance. I think that's a theory that we create, and I think you can do it if depending on your. I feel like if you love your job, you can create work-life balance, right? Because you love your job, love your position. You wake up every day with passion.
Okay.
But sometimes even when you do love your job, it's really hard balancing that with kids, with homework, with this, with that, with chores. Like for me, I can speak for myself. I have a little OCD. Like I like neatness. I like my house to be clean.
It's not a little, y'all. It's not a little. The house is spotless. It's beautiful. But go.
But like and I do cook. Like I'm a person that cook all the time. So I have that.
So you're active.
Yeah. So I'm constantly moving, and I work a full-time job, and I have a 17-month-old son, and I still have a 11-year-old daughter that that's just that school age and go to school. So I'm still managing all of that, and I have a husband. So you're kind of trying to balance everyone's needs.
Okay.
And sometimes you put yourself last because you're trying to make sure everybody else is good. So in my personal opinion, it's really hard to find a balance. And sometimes you can drain yourself. You'll find that you're so tired that you lose time for the things that you want to do for you. So that is the negative.
Okay.
I have friends that are in a very similar boat, so I know it's not just me, but I just know that just to be clear, I feel like that is the misconception of like for me being able to work a job where I can work in office and at home, like I can work in both places. I think that people assume that because you are able to work from home that you have this lax.
That's me.
Life.
I'm not gonna lie.
It ain't lax.
I think people from home don't be doing nothing in my head.
No, it's not lax. Like I said, I work with youth in foster care, and so I'm helping them. I'm helping their bio families because we do reunifications. I'm helping their.
So you're helping everybody all day.
And so a lot of times what end up happening is I don't shave my armpits. Just little things like that, right? You just miss out on those things. Like I try to do the bare minimum for myself, whether that be brushing my teeth and taking a shower, cooking, doing whatever, and trying to maintain, whether that be trying to work out at least 30 minutes a day to maintain my body and stuff like that. But it is very hard because you're trying to manage all of these things. And then you see some people out in the supermarket, this bitch look busted, but they probably just really tired.
Right? I didn't have time.
I don't have the time, and I don't even care.
Right.
You know what I mean? You start turning.
I don't even
that.
see you.
So one of my friends, Ramona, will always say like, you shouldn't have to look like how you feel. So I've tried to like put that into perspective in terms of even if I'm exhausted, I try to put myself together.
Cause I feel like. That's what my Aunt Van, shout out to Aunt Van, she said, like, she never sits around in her, like, house clothes. She always gets dressed every single day.
That's fine.
Even if she's not going nowhere, she'll get dressed just to, like, get up. And like I said today, like, I'm happy that we're doing this podcast because it made me get dressed. It made me, like, think about what I was going to wear. I could sit inside all day. It's sunny, like, and I'm inside doing work or just watching TV. And I'm like, okay, I got to work. I got to work. So, I got to look nice. And ladies, I want to tell you something. Something about podcasts and camera. People like when you look nice, right? Facts. That's just a little tip, like even like, and I'm not saying like as in presenting yourself as nice. I think everybody's beautiful and you're beautiful in your own way, right? But like for the camera purposes, people like when you look nice, and that's just a little tip I'm gonna give you because even me, I had that when I first started doing this. I would sometimes just look crazy, like I would look at the camera like I don't even want to look at myself, like like who wants to look at this? So a little tip is like even if you have on big drawers under your pants, like look, like people like when you look nice. I'm gonna just put that out there.
It's very true.
And everybody wants eye candy. It's hard.
And we live in a judgmental world where people are paying attention all the fucking time. You can't do nothing without somebody seeing something.
Right. I mean, right. But those people is just looking too hard and they need something to do. Those people need something to do. People that like judge people all day, like I'm the type where I stopped I had friends or whatever, and we used to laugh at people's stuff or their businesses or like stuff that just looked dumb, like but
somebody's trying,
but they're trying,
yeah,
and they're putting it out there. So once I started my business, I also started looking at things different. Like, if she tried, I'm in here sitting down doing nothing, so I don't even.
Your perspective.
Yeah, my perspective totally changed. It's like, it's so weird to think about how far you've come.
But that's what giving perspective mean. I always say that to DeMarcus. Giving perspective mean, for me, is telling a story but putting somebody in your shoes. You know what I mean? And like so even that person that business was trash, when they tell a story to you, like, yo, just picture having nothing, started from the bottom, doing this, you laugh less at that. Because you be like, yo, this person is
they worked hard.
Exactly. The entire perspective changes because you see the work and the hard work they put into what it is that they wanted to do for themselves. So
especially when you start trying to do something for yourself, you see how hard you have to work. Like we have to get the baby ready. You got to plan stuff out. Like you gotta. You don't know what the person was doing right before this, and you don't know what we're gonna have to do right after this.
We just did a vacation.
Right?
And we went to multiple. We went to Italy. We did Spain. We did France. Make a long story short, we had to fly into Spain. And that is a lot of hours to commute not commute because I'm not on the train, but a commuter, right? Commuting on a plane with a baby, and that was a lot. Remembering to pack everything. You can't fly back. We can't come back for this.
Right.
Just little things like that. Parenting and work is
it's a lot. I had my nephews for like a month, and I was ready to bring them back. And I don't know, ladies, how you feel, like, for real. Like, ladies, I don't know how you feel, ladies that don't have any kids. I mean, also there's a lot of people who have kids, but then there's a lot of people that I know in their 30s and 40s that still don't have kids, right? And for me, like, I feel like I did want a kid, but the longer you go without, like, taking care of somebody,
you kind of don't.
Your brain starts to get. I feel like if I was to have a kid right now, I would really have to be married. Like, I would have to have, the person would have to be present. Unless I was like, oh, I'm going to the bank and I'm just going to do it myself. Because that's what I chose to do.
I'm glad you brought that up. Because I also feel like we gotta change that narrative in terms of, like, just having kids.
Yeah, no. Especially when you get to, like, when you're younger, when you have kids in high school and stuff happens, we don't know. But for me right now, in this space that I am, just to, like, unless I had enough money and could really just take care of it, and this is just really what I want to do, but it's not what I really want to do because I can't afford it, right? Like I couldn't see myself just doing it,
And for me, like, I had my first child, obviously I had it outside of a marriage, and I feel like not to say anything like negative, I just feel like a marriage is necessary. I think it's necessary for the family.
Okay.
My personal opinion, I think it is very important
to
have a
ways,
child
kinda.
inside in a marriage.
Okay.
I think it's very beautiful to see all of y'all names line up on a piece of paper and y'all all got the same last name. I think that unfortunately, as a culture, we're judged when we walk into a school building and we ask for our kids and we have different names. People judge us, like, you know what I mean? And not that we live in for people's judgment, but you get a different type of level of respect when you are married, right? I just feel like, and because they know that there's somebody else there, somebody else is checking for you. You ain't by yourself. You know what I mean?
Feels good.
Right, as a woman, and I feel like it is very important. I feel like marriage before children is important. If I could do my life over again,
healthy marriage.
Yes, healthy marriage. I know you just get married. I'm talking about like
healthy.
It's just important to have that.
Yeah.
I feel like it is important to have that. If you find the right person, I feel like you should definitely be married before you have children. I don't think people should. I've done it, but I really anybody who have done it, don't let that shit keep happening. I feel like we have as a culture have to change the narrative because I feel like people need to be held accountable in terms of like taking care of their families and being there for their kids.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean?
Because the kids need it. Like in the name of the kids.
Right. I feel like in our culture, it's too many men who have children and walk away, in terms of like not being there for their kids. And that's dumb trash. Like, I feel like, we should, as a culture, not to say married men don't walk away, but I feel like there is a legal, there is more so you are bind to that person legally. You know what I mean? I feel like, and like I said, things may not necessarily work out, but I think it's important to start off the right way in that way.
Okay.
That's just my personal opinion.
But shout out to the black men, because I do feel like there's way more black men taking care of their kids. Like, I have a lot of male friends that take care of their kids and cousins, and I have my cousins be the mothers. You know, they the ones with the full custody. So, like, shout out to, no, for real, shout out. Like, I see a lot of strong black men around me, and they have their kids, and they taking their kids to the park, and it's, like, beautiful to see. You know what I mean? So, shout out to the black men, or the men that are taking care of their kids, but, you know, we got them.
But and that's another thing too. I feel like for us with black men, like I feel like over the years, I think I acknowledge the black man's presence in the household. I acknowledge that you do have some men that are great dads. I acknowledge the fact that you got men that are great husbands. But I feel like because I can only speak for my culture. Which I always say, I'm not talking about no other race.
You're talking about yourself and what
like you just acknowledging that they're doing that. I just want it to be. I want it to be more prevalent in a way that we don't have to acknowledge it. You know, like it's just something that we do as a culture, because that's what we used to do. That's what we used to do. We used to stick by our families, we stick by our kids. I feel like us as black women, it's like we feel this need to acknowledge it because it's not something that happens as often as we want it to.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying? If it happened all the time, nobody not saying I'm happy. Right. You know, shout out to the white men. For holding down their families and taking care of their kids.
Like it's corny. Why we gotta shout you out? It just should be regular.
Just fucking do it. Just like how moms show.
Yeah.
Right. And nobody not running out here to my shout out to the black mothers.
Because they
who else
gonna hold it down?
You know what I mean? Because that's what. You know why nobody not giving shout outs? Because it's so normal.
Right.
But the reason why we gotta give the shout outs is because it's not always normal. I just want us to normalize that shit. I want it to be something that we see so often that we don't have to walk around giving shout outs. It's just something that we know that.
Well, let's normalize it. It's about to be normalized.
Yeah, we need to change that narrative.
It's normalizing. Okay, I get that. I get that. We bringing that back.
Run that back.
Run that back. And remember, y'all, we not just talking out of our asses. Alright? I want to make that clear. So let's talk about horoscopes. I was on the film set the other day, and this girl, like, I believe, like, I like horoscopes. I do pay attention to certain signs and the people that I've met, and I like psychology, so I like the brain anyway. So sometimes it go hand in hand, but sometimes it really comes from your parents, you know. So it's a little mix in it, and then you know they get to the moon and this and that and that and that and that. Do you believe in like people's horoscopes, like matching their personality or like defining them?
Talk from experience.
I do believe that we have traits from our horoscope. But then I also do believe that some people just inherit some negative ass traits from whether that be their parents or if they didn't inherit it, they learned some terrible ass behavior.
Right, because you could learn terrible things.
Yeah, because I've met people that we share the same sign. I'm like, what the fuck? Because we're measuring them based off of our, you know, our sign. So yes, absolutely. I definitely feel like a lot of people.
What are signs? Are there any signs that before you was married that you would be like, no, I would not date? Or any signs that, like, in this 30-year-old age, because now we're more familiar with signs and people that you wouldn't want to be their friends? Or do it even go that deep?
So there are people that, there are signs like,
signs. And everybody has their own thing.
Cancers and Aries can make good friends. But the dynamic become toxic because Cancers are very emotional and Aries are very blunt, so we don't necessarily
I can see that. I can see that.
Aries, I feel like in Tauruses, same thing. Aries and Taurus can make good friends, but Tauruses a lot of times are very hard-headed, and like Aries are like, I seen that, I've been there before, you stupid, why you don't get it kind of personality. So they could still be friends, but it's just always gonna be a push and pull because we don't, you know.
That makes sense.
Aries tend to attract other fire signs like Leo and Sagittarius. Does not necessarily mean that we're good for each other because I feel like fire and fire just make a bigger fucking blaze. It doesn't necessarily.
It's fun. You have fun.
Right, but I feel like it doesn't balance out. So if we're gonna talk about horoscopes, I feel like it doesn't balance out. It just makes the flame a lot bigger. In my opinion, I don't think it balances out.
But I feel like honestly, for me, I feel like fire signs are my besties, or we
understand each other. Is what I could say. Yeah. Right. But I don't feel like.
But I don't really fuck with Aries. I ain't gonna lie.
But that's okay. And I'm Aries. That's
cool. I know.
That's what. But Aries, you know what it is? Aries have been characterized as
y'all crazy.
Very blunt.
Y'all crazy.
Very rude people. And I have been in the past. I was very blunt and very rude.
Okay. And that's something that I wanted to talk about too.
Right.
Overcoming the negative stimulate the negative stereotypes on the signs. Can we overcome those things? Like Sagittarius is, I'm a Sagittarius, so we always flirting. We're the cheaters. We're the people that like to have fun. Me, I don't think I can ever stop having fun. That's just, and that's something that I don't want to stop, to be honest. But like the cheating and all that stuff, I feel like that is something that I did overcome. That I feel like for Sagittarius, it usually is easy to cheat because we attract people.
Right, yeah, flirtatious.
We're flirtatious.
All fire signs are.
And people flirt back.
Right, all fire signs
it's having that control of your body. I think once you start thinking about your body and everybody kissing your body or touching your body, you start thinking about germs or like STDs. Like it's like I could cheat, but do I want to be hot down there? Like.
But I do definitely think that, like you said, you can be stuck with that negative connotation of what your sign is. Like I said, I was super blunt. I was very overly expressive and passionate about certain things, and it could be offensive to some people. I've learned over time that shit is just plain rude.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, yo.
So you had to understand that you was being rude.
Yeah, like you can't be working in a field where you gotta be sensitive to people's feelings and you just being disrespectful. So sometimes I catch myself, and sometimes I'm fighting the fuck out of myself to shut the fuck up because I really want to say, "What are you not? You stupid? Are you slow?" Like I want to talk like that, but over time I've learned to become a little bit more emotionally intelligent and understand that what I'm saying really can impact a person, especially if it's somebody that you really love.
Okay.
You can be honest, but it's just your delivery.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Your delivery. Like, you can be blunt, but your delivery.
Yes.
You don't got to say things that are really hurtful to people because I feel like that's what it is. You just have to know how to say things that are not hurtful. So, yeah, you can be your sign, but the negative traits that are associated with your sign, you like we discussed, it's something that you need to fight or you need to learn how to be able to assimilate in fucking population. Not because you're a flirt and you're a dog mean that you should be cheating for the rest of your life because it's associated with your sign.
Right.
Not because, you know what I mean? Like, it's not fair to people.
That's just an excuse.
Yeah, to stick with something. Like, I'm born this way. You know?
Yeah. Oh, this is what my mom told me. This is what, and I think that's something that I struggle with people who, like, in relationships or friendships where people say, I'm like this because my mother said like this, or my grandmother or my aunt, this is how they raised me, or this is how it was. But I'm like, if you know that, and I'm not saying they raised you wrong, but the way, like, now it's 2025. It might have been the 90s, you know what I mean? It's different times, different people. We speak different ways. There's technology. I don't like when people act like they cannot get rid of, like, those negative things.
Old school shit.
Because they was taught, or this is the way I am. Like, I feel like, is it the way people are? Do you think that's like, is that a valid excuse for people to use that this is the way they've been?
No, it's
because you could have changed 30 years ago when you knew about it at first.
And even if like my friend and I had this conversation, even if it's not change, right? Because that's another question. Do you think, and we can segue to this, do you think people change? That's a stiff question.
I don't think you change, but I feel like you can adjust. I feel like I have different personalities. And I feel like I don't want to be that person no more, so let me be this person.
Right.
You know what I
But the
mean?
old you is always in there.
Yeah.
Right? So
somewhere.
Exactly. So even if you're not changing like who you are, I feel like as a human being, we gotta grow up to identify what we're doing that is wrong.
Okay.
And try really hard to act the opposite. Even if it's a fucking act.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you don't have to be so rude. Or
right.
You don't have to be this kind of person. So even if it's not within you, it is your job though to try to treat people with respect. Like
treat people the way you want to be treated.
Yeah. So it's even if like we'll try to use that. I've been like that. That shit's not an excuse to be like that.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No.
So even if you ain't changing, like you said, make adjustments. Some small adjustments, or just like act. Try to act different.
Or just shut up.
Have you got some? Exactly.
That's what people need to do.
I'm tired of hearing that shit.
You could just be quiet, and I feel like a lot of people use that as an excuse, and that really bothers me. I think if I ever come across somebody new, relationship or friendship, and they say like that's the way I am, that's like a red flag for me. I don't care what sign you are.
And you're not leaving room to grow.
Yeah, because I'm a person that's continuously growing.
So so even though growth and change is very similar, right? Because we can grow up. Some core stuff do stick. So I wonder, do people do people change? I do. Some people may not. You can grow up. I feel like you can change a little bit because you can grow up. You can mature enough to understand that I can't be like this, or how I was, that wasn't the right way to be thinking. So I feel like in that sense. But sometimes people, if you're an ugly, mean, disgusting, terrible individual, I feel like, no, that's a real thing. You can't change that. That shit is, I feel like that shit is in the core of who you are. It's gonna, even, I feel like even with acting, it manifests in other things, in other ways. Like you got people that are just grimy, that are just like, it's really, like how you can, like in criminology, you have people that they assume that are born bad, right? And some people just can be born bad.
Right.
It has nothing to do with their sign. It's just,
this is just how they are.
This is just you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, y'all. That's Girl Talk. I'm sitting here with my girl Malicia.
Yeah.
This is we not just talking out of our asses, home edition. You know what I mean? We're just not talking out of our asses because I feel like a lot, and I'm done. But I feel like just a lot of podcasts, and I'm not even really into podcasts. It's just that we have these
podcasts. So,
so she likes podcasts, and I don't. That's fine, right? Because I talk a lot, and the thing is, I have to create so much that I can't really listen to a lot of other people's creations because that's how you end up taking stuff.
Podcasts are good because you get to hear. I like podcasts that are not focused on just relationships, right? Because I feel like
different type of podcasts too. People are attracted. People just like sports podcasts.
Because I feel like also I want to put this out there for Black women. It's too many motherfucking podcasts that's directed towards being how to be a woman, how to be a man, how to be this, how to be a dad. You're single.
I don't want to hear that.
I don't want to hear no more. And most of the people on that podcast, all of them are single, but that's neither here nor there.
So, and that's why I'm saying we're not just talking about out of our ass. You know, some people get a podcast and they do things that they're just doing it because they can have a podcast. You know, not because they know about it, not because they studied it, not because they read anything, just because they know how to talk. Right? We're not just talking out of our asses. Like, this is experiences. This is us working with people. This is us just being out there, being outside. Now we inside. I'm a little outside. She
like
inside.
You had a lot of social social experiments because you worked in a school, you worked in a prison. So you done seen people compromise. You seen children. You seen, you've had a lot of if you put that into perspective. No. When you walk out, even when for me. And I don't know if you're like this. I sit down and analyze people all fucking day.
That's all I do.
I'm like, oh shit.
That's all I do is stare. I have a staring problem. If you catch me staring, I'm not looking at you because I'm rolling my eyes. I'm like evaluating you. Yeah. And in my last relationship, she was like, Shanice, you want to evaluate me? I was like, because in order for me to be with somebody, I need to know you. I need to know that I don't know that part of you. I need to I don't know. I'm like a feelings or I'm like a talker. I feel like I'm a sexual person, but I can't be sexual if I don't know you.
Right. That's how because your brain you need to be in tune mentally.
Yes, I need to know.
That's how you really achieve an orgasm. But go ahead. For me, I mean, I can only speak.
See, I feel like with women is different. I feel like a lot of women talk to women because
I'm just saying. I feel like
a lot of women that talk to women experience orgasms.
Yeah.
And I think that's why sometimes women talk to women for that feeling. Or they end up getting that feeling and staying because they didn't have it.
I know what I mean.
But that's a whole nother. But yeah, this is Girl Talk with Malicia. Thank you for tuning in, and see you next time.
Peace.
Shout out to the cameraman.